What it do, brochachos and sisteritas of the internet? It is Friday, May 28th, and after a small little hiatus there, Elevated Takes is coming back at you live. You got Shady over here, you got RJ over there. How is it going, Mr. RJ?
I am great. I'm excited to be back, and
Fine.
you know what? Let's just get into it.
Dude, I'm in.
I've
Dude,
missed this so much.
I know, me too. And the only thing that I think that I was more excited for than
Yeah.
hanging out with you tonight is the Champions League Cup
Ooh,
final
let's go!
coming up this weekend, baby.
Yes.
Tomorrow night, the Chelsea Blues are gonna bring her on home. I know they've been playing like a fat sack of garbage, but they're gonna bring the thunder
It's so
tomorrow.
bad.
Are you as excited as I am? Because I'm
I
sure
really
excited.
am. I mean, I'm obviously gonna watch it like nonstop. We'll probably be live tweeting it. So
Yep.
that, come to the Twitter at Elevated Takes. Check out some of our
Check it out.
tweets.
Check it out, baby.
Pulisic is my dude. Like, I've been reading a lot about him, like off the field too. That's my dude. So
Oh yeah, he's an all-star.
he is.
But yeah, dude. I don't know. I'm really excited. Like I said, they've kind of been playing like crap on the pitch.
They've been
but
playing
we'll
pretty
see,
bad.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think they're just holding up all their talent to take home the Champions League Cup, also known as the Coupe de la Club Champions Europeans. Let's do it. Let's bring it home. But anyway, outside of how excited I am for the Champions League final, RJ, do you have some hot shit for us today? You want to bring us back into some current times?
Matter of fact, I do. So before we get too current, let's just bring up some of the past. Phil Mickelson, shocker. Excited for him. He won the PGA Championship.
Yeah,
and it was fun to watch. He
won
by 2 strokes over Brooks. He won 2 strokes over Brooks. And let me tell you about Brooks Koepka here, okay? Him and Bryson DeChambeau have been feuding for a long time. I'm just going to catch you guys up on what's been going on recently because it is entertaining as hell. Brooks is being interviewed like he just lost, right? Like he came in second place. He's upset. They're interviewing him about his putting. And he's like, yeah, the putts were kind of hard to hit. And then Bryson's just so happens to be walking behind him. He's like, well, yeah, you got to aim to the right. And Brooks just literally does like this. So like, I'm Brooks. Like, God damn, why? God damn it. Like, I don't. And just does that like on live TV, and the interviewer's like, yeah, don't worry, we'll cut this. Like, you're on live TV, you ain't cutting nothing, homie.
No, maybe on the replay.
Then Brooks is like, oh no, it wasn't what it was just the cleat scraping on the ground. That's what it just threw me off from the interview.
That's
yeah, okay, Brooks. No. But then later in the week, it was announced that Bryson DeChambeau and Aaron Rodgers will be matched up against Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady. Tom Brady's in it again on just a 2v2 celebrity golfer event they have. Well, Brooks Koepka has to go out of his way and tweets at Aaron Rodgers, sorry, bro. And then Bryson DeChambeau subtweets him. And then Phil Mickelson even got in on it. So it's just fun to watch. Shady, what do you think about it? I think the people who don't care about golf makes it so entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, I guess any headlines are good headlines, right? So this is great for the PGA because people are actually talking about golf, which I think they really needed since Tiger's career is basically kaput, because Tiger's really who brought everybody into golf, But honestly, the way that I feel about it is Brooks Koepka is rapidly becoming one of my least favorite golfers in the world.
Wow,
dude, he's just such a little baby. Like he's a baby about everything. What it was like 2 years ago, I think he was like, yeah, this game's just easy. Like this game's just super easy. I'm just like, when you're just that good, it's just easy. And then he struggles like tournament after tournament. He comes in second to an old ass man, a bottle of ashes rolling down the fairways. And then he like not only was he complaining about DeChambeau critiquing his game, and just DeChambeau is already like the most over analytical golfer in the world. Like he's like he is analytics times 20. And then it wasn't even that like got me though. It's just, he's just complaining about everything. He was like, yeah, Mickelson, his final walk to 18 was cool, but the crowds were so big. I got bumped.
He did say that.
I got my knees hurt, or I think it was his knees or his ankle. He hurt something, and he was getting bumped by people. Like, dude, you're an adult. Like, stop acting like this. If you think you're so good, like you were talking about the past few years, go out and show it and shut up about it. Like, I can't stand it.
I mean, he has won a couple majors, so like you have to give that to him. He is
A
still
lot of
upper
people have won a couple
echelon.
majors. Vijay Singh won a couple majors. He's got a green jacket. Like, come on.
He won 2 in the same year, so I mean that's pretty good. And he's
Whatever.
still pretty young. He is golf's top 10 right now. Like active players, he's golf top 10. So he's entertaining for the game. I like it because he hits bombs, and this Bryson DeChambeau feud, I cannot wait because at one they're both top 10 players. So at some
Oh, yeah.
point we
For
will
sure.
get a Sunday where they are matched up to play for the Sunday round for a championship for millions of dollars.
I don't know,
can't
dude.
wait
A
for that.
brisk win might hit Koepka, and I think his knees will break because like that's basically what happened on Sunday, walking up 18. So
Well, maybe it's possible, but that's enough golf for the folks. Let's not overplay the golf, okay?
all right, what else you got?
So I'm just gonna kind of like spotlight the NBA right now, okay? Some things I just want to
Yeah.
bring up real quick. Miami, what you play basketball, you know that, right?
Not well.
Like that's the league
They did
you're
not
in.
play well. Holy crap!
Like what are we? What's going on here? Like this is not. They've been struggling all year, and that Oladipo trade made no sense whatsoever. Looking back on it, why? Why? He barely played for you. I don't think he even played in 10 games. Okay. And you
Yeah.
can't tell me that the Flower Child wouldn't have helped them out.
100%, dude. Olynyk would have been a. We were talking about it a
Kelly
couple
Olynyk,
podcasts ago.
sorry.
The dude is a killer.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, they suck.
the Heat suck. The other team I wanted to bring up was Luka and Porzingis are just
The exact
laying
opposite. The exact opposite.
laying it. Yeah, laying it on the Clippers.
Yeah, they are.
Kawhi's doing great. Who the hell gave that guy the name Playoff P? Huh? Paul
Himself.
George, you ain't.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Playoff P gave him that own name, and then he started to suck ass in every single playoff.
For the people on YouTube, this is my Russell Westbrook face from the interview.
That's a good one. That was very good.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know exactly.
If you listen to this podcast, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so those are some teams that the teams that I wanted to spotlight on the worst, and in my opinion, obviously a Luka fan, the best. Shady, is there any teams you want to spotlight in the NBA or anything like that?
Yeah, I actually will get into it later in the podcast, like the teams that I want to spotlight this year. But obviously, like the other side of the Miami Heat coin is the Milwaukee Bucks are absolutely killing it. Like they're balling out. And then obviously like the Suns are playing well against the Lakers. We'll see how that plays out. And then, but with the Heat, dude, they lost by 30. They lost by like 29 points Thursday night. They're down 3-zip. Like, and they made it to yes, it was the bubble, but they made it to the finals last year. Like, how poor of a follow-up is it if they get swept out of the first round? I mean, yeah, we had the play-in tournament, but it's still technically the first round. And frankly, dude, the Mavericks they might be a title contender. Like, they are putting up numbers against the Clippers.
Say it one more time. Say it one
and
more
they're
time.
supposed to. Nope, everybody gets one, and they're supposed to. They're supposed to be one of the best perimeter defensive teams in the league, and Luka Doncic is literally getting every shot he wants. Dude, the best
with his signature move. Like he's gonna do it.
Exactly.
He does this all the time.
It's just so like off rhythm. It's hard to defend. But the best thing I've seen all playoffs was Luka just beating down Patrick Beverley to the paint, pushing him off, just being like, too small. You're too small. I love it because it's the truth, dude. Like, just get off him. It's amazing.
It's great. This is why I love Luka. So
if Porzingis can keep it up, they're in good shape. That's what it's going to come down to.
So I'm going to paraphrase something I read online. It is not factual. It's just funny. So it's just a joke.
Fair enough.
So like quotes, because this is all jokes, right? So like, don't quote me on any of this, but like in an interview, Luka was asked, why do you have this burning hate for the Clippers? And he's like, well, one time my girl cheated on me with a barber. So anytime I hear the word Clippers, I just get heated.
Oh my god.
But he's going off.
Be him
He's going off. No, it's a joke. I don't even believe that interview is real at all.
That's
But
got to be the most Michael Jordan thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
exactly,
Just dude making up shit
and
to
I
get
took
angry at
and I
somebody.
took that personally.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Exactly. All right.
Okay, that was my hot shit. What do you
I
got?
got some hot shit for you. So just so y'all are aware, this is going to be a basketball podcast. We've got the
It will be.
playoffs in full swing motion, and until Chelsea brings home that cup, we're going to be talking some basketball. So I've got a twofer for you, some basketball info for you today. Hot shit numero uno, Julius Randle, my boy. One of my favorite players, probably my favorite player in the league right now, wins most improved player, and he might be the most worthy player I've ever seen win that award. Like this dude has been working and working and working, applied that Mamba mentality to his career, and now he's got the Knicks in a position where dude, they could make a run in the East. Like, I mean, they're probably not gonna, but they could, and he's the linchpin of that entire squad. So shout out to Julius Randle. Congratulations, my man.
Yeah, no, I have been hyping up Julius Randle all year, so I'm so happy he
Oh
won it. It
yeah.
was the obvious choice.
Okay.
The only other choice would have been Grant. Well, ever since the season started, I've been hyping him up. Let me
There you
say
go.
that.
Couple
So,
games in, you started hyping him up.
yes. So, um, but the way he was presented the award, I don't know if you saw that. Pretty dang cool. He's at
Yeah, it
practice with his
was.
whole team, and
It
his
was
son brings
awesome.
out the award. His son brings
Yep.
out the award to him in front of the whole team. Heartfelt moments, goosebumps, and all that. If you haven't seen it, you need a little positive light in your day, and this isn't just doing it for you. Go
Chickadee
check
chicka.
that out. It's really uplifting. I'll just say that.
I
What's your
hear
other
you.
hot shit?
Let me get.
Well, yeah, go
I
ahead.
want
Go
to
ahead.
touch on what you said first. Jeremy Grant definitely was super improved, but he also was the Pistons' entire offense for the first half of the year. Like he didn't really have any players around him. Where the Knicks still have R.J. Barrett. You know what I mean? Who's trying to get hit
Yeah.
in on some buckets. They were trying to give Isaiah Quickly a lot of touches on offense. So I think, and then Jeremy Grant basically just they. I mean, he basically just sat the second half of the season. Like after the All-Star break, he was literally on the
Sure.
IL. And
Yep.
by IL, we mean tanking list, because that's really what it
Yes.
is now that the NBA has all of those restrictions around who you can and who you can't sit.
They'll
All right.
even put it down on Yahoo.
Yeah, because it really is. It's like they're
Yeah.
tanking. Like that's why he's sitting. But all right, on to my second hot shit, so we can get moving on to some elevated takes. What you are all here to listen to. Also basketball related, like I said. Russell Westbrook ended up leaving the last game that he was in the playoffs, and he ended up getting an entire thing of popcorn dumped on him after an injury. And so this is what my hot shit is. Basically, the hot shit, not even about Russ, because I don't even like Russ all that much, but you got to have some respect. NBA fans right now are like the worst fans in the world, and I don't understand why. Like Ja Morant just had some issues with the Jazz people. Like, obviously, what was going on with Russell Westbrook is absolutely insane and like just crazy. And then at Madison Square Garden, Trae Young was straight spit on. He was get your crap together, NBA fans. What are you doing? It's a game. It's a game.
Fans,
stop spitting on people and dumping popcorn when they get hurt.
You took 1 year off as a fan, from going to the stadium. And these are like season ticket. If you're in these games right now, you're a season ticket holder. Like you're a season ticket holder. Yeah, I mean, like it's not just your average Joe from Philly getting in there. You know what I mean? Like just the buck is wild of the buck is wild. No, these are supposed to be responsible people who have enough money to get to that spot. It's not really easy to get. You don't luck into those tickets.
No.
And you're gonna do that.
So why are
and
you
banned for life?
Exactly.
I don't get it. Now I get you want to boo someone, haze them. Hell, you want to cuss someone out. That ain't for me to tell you. I disagree with you, but whatever, right? You should start your own podcast. But
exactly
throwing stuff at people, you're just trying to get a mouse at the palace, and that's just not how the game is played nowadays. It's really not.
No, it's not, and it needs to end. So NBA fans, get your crap together. Nobody wants to see it. Fans sitting at home don't want to see it. Athletes don't want to see it. Like it's despicable, and you need to cut it out. So let's wrap that on up. But dude, let's get to something a little bit more elevated.
Elevated? I like it.
You wanna shoot me an elevated take? You got one today? You ready to bring it?
Yeah, I'm ready. Just go ahead and let me know when you're ready for it.
All right, I will be ready in 3, 2, 1. Elevate me.
Just let me know how my time's going because this one is not really an elevated take. I
Oh, okay.
bamboozled you all. It's a rant. I am just complaining. I am not trying to persuade your opinion one way or another. But I just need to get this out in the universe and it needs to be heard. Because people are doing it on Twitter, people are doing it everywhere, but I have a platform and I'm going to do it. LeBron James, why are you such a baby? Like, I just don't understand. What is all this? What's all this showmanship of just being a baby? Okay, let's go back a couple weeks to the point Shady brought up. Okay, before we even got into the playoffs, he's like, "Oh well, I'll probably never be 100% again. You know, this injury is taking a toll." I get
Yep.
it, you're older, but don't throw excuses out there, man. Get out there and play. I'm not saying I cannot play at your level. This has nothing to do with his talent. This just has to do with how he is playing the game and how he is acting on the floor. I just don't like it. So I'm ranting about it on my own podcast. Okay? Now, if you're going to be hurt, be hurt. If you don't want to come back to 100%, don't come back to 100%. But if you're going to play the game, I don't want to hear excuses of you saying, "Oh, I'm not 100%. What do you expect out of me?" That shit don't fly with me. Okay? Now let's go back. Take a deep breath. I mentioned a while ago how he was upset about the playoffs. Well, about the play-ins for the playoffs. And that the guy who did it should be fired. Well, guess what, LeBron? Just because you had a play in it doesn't mean someone needs to be fired, okay? I'm sorry it was inconvenient for you, but I believe the NBA and me personally would agree it was a huge success. I watched almost all the games. It was fun. It made me watch at least me, it brought my eyes to the TV because of what was on the line. I liked it, and I hope they keep it around. And that guy who you want to be fired, I hope he gets promoted. I hope he gets a raise because this was a good idea. Moving on. LeBron got poked in the eye. I believe it was Monday night. Okay, Chris Paul went underneath him. It was a basketball play, right? Nothing crazy, okay? He was poked in
Dirty.
the eye and oh my god. He was poked in the eye and laying on the ground, okay? He laid on the ground for so long, and then there was a fight because of what happened with him on the ground. So then he got up off the ground and then went over to where the fight was and laid on the ground over there. So I will end it with this. A baseball player named Pillar, I forget his last name, was hit in the face with a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. He got up in 36 seconds. Joe Burrow tore his knee up, was out for the rest of the season. He got up in 78 seconds. LeBron was poked in the eye, stayed in the game, and played the next game, and was down for 80 seconds. I haven't seen soccer players do it like that. The last thing I'll say, because time is out, I've never heard LeBron and Kobe, I'm sorry, MJ and Kobe were always convincing me they weren't hurt. LeBron, you're always convincing me you are hurt.
All right. Now, because you went on such a crazy rant there, you took about 30 seconds of breath. So I gave it back to you at the end.
Good.
Just
good.
trying to guess
I kept on having to refocus.
No, I know, because you were going off. You went red. I saw that. So I'm gonna call that take the RJ LeBron collage because I feel like it was just a collage of everything you've been saying for the last 3 weeks, just put in one elevated take.
I had to get it out. I just because
I could tell. I could tell.
As you can tell, I just had to get it all out.
You almost popped a blood vessel. Yeah, you did. So I'll agree with you on a few things. I agree with you that if LeBron James comes back and says, "Hey, we didn't win because I'm never going to be 100% again," shut up, LeBron. Nobody wants to hear that. No, you're right. Kobe, MJ, Magic, Bird, none of them ever would have done anything like that. That's crazy to me that you think it's okay to talk to do that. Like you might as well just go out there wearing a diaper. Like that's how it feels like to me because you're basically shitting the bed. So I agree with you on that. I agree with you that he is the most soccer-esque basketball player in the league today. Where if he so much as gets looked at wrong, he's going down. Like this dude, yeah, exactly. Like he is like Charmin soft, no doubt about that. And I know all about that because that was my nickname in high school. So I understand what it means to be Charmin soft. Let me tell you. But what I do disagree with you on, and this isn't even about LeBron, and I'm the biggest LeBron apologist there is until about this year where he started to do all the shit that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I hated the play-in tournament. I thought it was dumb. Like
Really?
it added literally nothing to me, but like all it did was make me like wish that the real tournament had already started. Why is there a game where nobody gets eliminated? That's dumb. Like why would it ever, why is 8 and 9 even a thing? Like I think that's really dumb. The only thing that the play-in tournament showed me was that Ja Morant is for real, because Ja
Yeah.
Morant like really brought it and stepped up for the Grizzlies, but he could have done that in the first round, which he's already doing. So like I hated the tournament. I thought it was a waste of time. I basically didn't watch most of it. Like I watched a few games, like a couple minutes of a few games, but again, unless it means something, then don't call it a tournament. Like in the NBA, it should be one and done. The fact that there were like 2 games to get in for the lower seeds, like you get a chance. It's for the birds. It's for the birds, RJ.
If you want to say it needs to be tweaked, tweaked.
No, tweaked
But
isn't get out. Get it out of here.
okay.
It's
No,
dumb.
see, I
It's
liked it.
dumb.
I mean, I know I just ripped them, but LeBron versus Curry, yeah, I watched that game, and LeBron did make a great shot at the end to win it. That was cool. I enjoyed that game. And then the same team, the Golden State Warriors versus the Grizzlies. I thought, no, John Morant, Grizzlies.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Yeah, that was a
Don't
good
second guess
game
yourself.
too because John Morant went off. It was a fun game to watch. Those were good they were high quality basketball games. To me, I looked at it as I I feel like people sometimes will take games off. It's a fact. Players will take games off in a 7-game series to stock up for like, okay, we can lose this one, but then we need to win the other one. So like, if we're already losing at halftime, like, okay, we'll lose this one, but like, let's do this next time, or let's try this out. I love the one game. I gotta beat this team to make sure I can be in automatically.
Yeah,
If
but
you
what if
want
they
to,
get? What if it hurts players before the real playoffs? What if like Chris Paul would have been in the play-in and he got hurt going in, and then the Suns are a wash? The number 1 seed in the West, or number no, they were number two or three.
but then why play why play the last 10 games of the season? If that's
They
if
don't.
what if they get
They
hurt?
don't. They often
Some
don't.
do. Some do.
Some
But
do,
that's
but why force it on them? Why
but
put it
these are the
on like
teams that
I
need.
don't
These are the teams that need to get in.
I think it also demeans the rest of the regular season. Like, okay, 10 out of the top 12 teams like make it. Like that's
I can see that.
crazy. That's crazy. Like there's a reason why they seeded it through 8, like because that's what you have to earn through the regular season. And if you don't, and you could, how many teams were under 500 going into that playoff? Like it's crazy to me that you like can justify it's the same thing as just making the regular season not as important, and that's why college football is so incredible, because every single game is a playoff game in college football, and the less you make professional sports like that, the less and less they're going to feel like emotional, like the less you're going to want to watch that product. And that's just how I feel. Like it worked this year because it was a shortened season, so you wanted to give them a little extra some. But what happens when you try to do that and the 9 seed is far and away better than the 10 seed just because of the way it plays out? And it's a blowout. It's just a waste of a game. And then someone gets hurt. All I'm saying is adding a play-in game where it's one game and they have to go harder, as hard as they can to get into it. Even if they win and somebody gets hurt, why even play that game? Where in a 7-game set, you can kind of meter it out. Like Chris Paul, he's not out because they have 7 games. They didn't need to win that game, so they sat him in hopes that they could do some more and he could heal instead of hurting himself even further. So I that's why the 7 games make sense to me, because basketball is such a bang sport. Unlike football, where you get a lot of breaks in between, basketball is much more like hockey, where you get out and you get going, and there's not even line shifts like there is in hockey, so you even get less of a break. So I just think that adding more pressure in a game that doesn't follow the formula of the sport as it's established is dumb. So
Okay, well
take
that's
it like you will.
kind of an elevated take kind of on its own, but that wasn't the focus of my elevated take. Mine was all about LeBron, and I kind of threw it in there. I know
Right.
we kind of like completely got diverted from it, but just to rebuttal that a little bit is when it comes to the NBA than other seasons, like you said, college football and the NFL, the playoffs are real. sometimes you'll get a game here and there. It's usually game 2 or 3, where the teams are taking it off. Whether for whatever reason, it's not as high intensity as it should be. That's what I personally don't like about it. There's probably a better way, but what I did like about the play-in tournament is it felt like this is do or die. Even if they lost, they get another game, it felt do or die. It looked do or die. That's what I liked. But whatever, that's my
That's
elevated
fair.
take. LeBron, the biggest thing I wanted to say was just MJ and Kobe. I never was like, oh, if they're hurt, it's going to be okay. Like, they never let you know they were hurt. And LeBron wants you to think he's hurt every second he's on the court. I
Yeah.
am done with LeBron. I am done with that elevated take. Austin, are you ready?
I am ready. Hit
All
me
right.
with the timer when you are.
Shady's elevated take will start right. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So I'm going to pivot away from basketball a little bit here because we've talked about it a
Thank
lot,
God.
and RJ just let out his heart about it. So we can move on, talk about something different. And I'm going to talk about the fact that Mac Jones will forever put to bed the Belichick Brady debate. Forever. Because everyone's like, okay, yeah, maybe it's 50-50 Brady Belichick. Maybe it's 80-20 Brady Belichick. Mac Jones is going to prove to us all that it was 95-5 in favor of Brady. Belichick was a fantastic defensive coach, but when Tom Brady needed him to coach, he ended up letting Philadelphia give up what was it, 42 points, 43 points? In the game that Tom Brady, in the Super Bowl where Tom Brady set the record with 505 passing yards, Tom Brady gave you his best and you give him that, Belichick? But we're not talking about that night. We're talking about what Mac Jones is going to do for the debate. Mac Jones, a story just came out not too long ago that his energy and his swag is starting to win the Patriots vets over. A lot of those vets who sat out for the offseason last year, so they're building confidence. They're building confidence in this guy. Belichick's got to get back on his high horse after blowing the draft for the last few years because the greatest coach of all time is one of the worst GMs. He couldn't support it, and that's why Brady had to get on down to Tampa Bay and win a Super Bowl himself down there as a player coach, which is exactly what he did. Mac Jones is the incubator for Bill Belichick. He is the new blood. He's the one who needs to ring in a new era of rings at New England, and he is not going to do it. Yes, he has a cannon. He's from a program that knows how to win from Nick Saban, so it should be perfect. It should be green grass and high tides. If Belichick can coach like he usually used to with Brady, then it's going to be great. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to. Belichick has no say over that offense. McDaniels struggles with inexperienced quarterbacks. That's why he always gets like the backups to do so well, who know the system really well, who can manipulate things around them, short passes, and then go. Mac Jones will not be able to do that. He had one of the best offensive lines in college football at Alabama,
30.
and so he sat behind the steel wall and took all of his time. In the NFL, you will not be able to do that. And so while the sun is high in the sky for Mac Jones right now, in 5 years, his lack of ability and lack to develop into a top 10 quarterback, which I guarantee is going to happen, will end the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick debate forever. Tom Brady is the reason for the New England Patriots dynasty over those 20 years.
You got it right on time, so that was dope.
Buzzabita.
Okay, yeah. So let's dive into this. I like it. The thing I don't like about it is I feel bad for Mac Jones if that's true. Like, I like the kid. Like,
Yeah.
I think his story is great. Like,
Yeah, I don't think he's a bad guy.
You had Tua, you had him, Jalen Hurts. You know what I mean? Like, getting all three of those, they're all going to be starters for a team. They're all on the same team. Like, that's just a really cool story. I want him to succeed. He seems like a cool player to watch. But I think you have a lot of good points, and I agree. I don't think that debate's really there. Like, people make it, you're right. It's on the TV. It's the ESPN and Fox 1 debate, right? But I think all real sport fans can easily tell, especially after this year, that was Brady. That was Brady through and through, and it's really not even a debate. Because if it was, I mean, Cam Newton won an MVP. I don't care how bad your shoulder is. I don't care what. If you won an MVP, you should be good enough for a while. I mean, you should be able to get to the playoffs, I would assume, right? Like,
Exactly.
especially with one of the best coaches of all time. I don't understand how that happens. Their drafting has sucked. Sony Michelle, you're not it. That's not it.
Nope.
And they're known. New England's known for flying through running backs, and so they took a first round running back, and then haven't done diddly with them.
Yep.
Okay, you have no wide receivers. Edelman retired. Probably come out of retirement in a couple months and go sign with
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Yep.
So
Tampa Bay.
that's interesting. I feel bad that it's Mac Jones who's going to have to carry that. But I will say my Buffalo Bills are just going to stroll right on by them, and I'll take those 2 easy dubs.
Eat it up. Eat it
I'm
up.
cool with that. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't know, dude. There's just something about Mac Jones, and this is probably a bad comparison, but he reminds me a lot of Jake Coker. Remember Coker? He was he was like a big built white quarterback that came out of Alabama. He just in stride, he looks like him. Obviously, he's got a better arm. I'm not saying he's as talentless as Coker was at the NFL level, but he reminds me a lot of him. And there's just something about these quarterbacks that take really easy paths, like get a full ride to go to Bama, play for the best defensive coach in the NCAA, like gets to a place where again the philosophy is really about do your job and playing defense. And unless New England builds the best offensive line in the NFL and gives this kid time, he's not going to be successful. Like I don't think he's going to be successful, whether that's his own merit or not. And like you said, like I think he's a good guy. Like I don't have any problems with him. I just think that he is not going to be the guy to win any championships, because in order for Bill Belichick to win championships, he needs an offensive coach under center, which is what he got in Tom Brady the second half of his career there. And that's why they won more than 3 Super Bowls. Before that, when they won their 3 Super Bowls where it was really Belichick's doing, they had one of the greatest defensive like streaks in like NFL history. And it was also a much less dynamic offensive game as it is now, where it's harder to play defense than it was in the early 2000s when they won those 3 championships. So there's too much pressure on that offense to do well. You like you said, they don't have a running back. They don't have wide receivers. Like, what is this guy going to do? He's in a terrible spot. Yeah, they don't have anybody. Their defense is fine. But no, I think they're really going to struggle. And it sucks that it's on Mac Jones's shoulders to bear the weight of that world. But it's going to come crashing down.
The QB comparison you made, I hope that's not how his career turns out with what he's setting up with, like what he's starting out with. It might, and it might not be his own. But let's hope he has some success, has really bad games against the Bills, makes it easy, my life easy. But yeah, that was a pretty good elevated take. I like that one. I think we had elevated takes that we basically agreed upon the whole thing, and then we had to divert small topics of the elevated take to have some type of conversation.
Yeah, agreed. Not every elevated take is going to be combative. You know what I mean? Like sometimes they're just good elevated takes. Sometimes we're flying around in the sky together. You know what I'm saying?
You know, LeBron's being a crybaby as of late, and Mac Jones was getting a raw deal.
I hate it. So speaking of having elevated takes that we all agree with, why don't we throw some stuff out there that we might not? What if we bring back some bold bricks? You want to do some bold bricks? You want to shoot your shot, RJ?
We haven't done that in a while, and
we have not.
I mean, like, when we do bold bricks, are we doing like the boldest of bold bricks? Or are we doing mild bricks?
Hey man, no, you can shoot from half court, you can shoot from 40 feet out. As long as you hit the backboard, that's a bold brick, baby. So go. You want to shoot your shot? Take the jumper.
So I'm gonna take 2 shots.
Ooh, bold bricks.
Right. The first one's a full court, like really hard, because it's too many factors. And then I'm going to take a half-court shot, which is easy. It's going to be a freaking free throw. That's how easy this bold brick is, okay?
Go for it.
The full-court shot. The Lions are going to have the first overall draft pick next year. Because they're going to be that bad. The free throw. My free throw is going to be, at worst, a top 3 pick. That's my bold brick. Is there going to be the top 3? I'm so confident. Like, I'm not even going to say top 5. Like, that's how bad I think the Lions are going to be. But
man,
it's going to be a good thing. So, like, hear me out, all right? I used to be a Lions fan. I'm not a Lions fan anymore. Bills, all about it. Don't get any credit if the Lions win. I'll be happy for my friends and family, but I don't get no credit. Bills Mafia, baby. Lions. They just
I
cut
gotta
Kerryon Johnson. What?
I gotta be honest with you, bro. There's just
Okay.
no way. I'm blocking that shit. Not even a brick. You're not even getting to the bucket. I'm blocking it. It's going out of the arena. Because they're going to
Why?
win the NFC North, baby. Dan
Oh,
Campbell's
jeez.
coming in hot with a team that believes. They believe in having a pet lion in that facility, bro. They're going to
What
win
are
the
you
NFC
talking
North.
about?
Think about it. The Packers, okay? The Packers, they're having tons of issues with Aaron Rodgers. He didn't come to OTAs, which he always does. He was out partying with Shailene Woodley and that dude from that crappy Fantastic
Yeah.
Four movie. Like he's not even in it at all. I'm hoping. I love Aaron Rodgers. I really do. I hated him at first, but he's rapidly becoming one of my favorite people ever. Just over the past years, even before he
Yeah.
started to come out and talk on the McAfee show and like show himself a little bit more. Just like he's just the type of dude you want in a team. Like he's that guy. And the fact that organization has alienated him, screw it. And then what? You got the Vikings. Like, okay, Kirk Cousins.
Vikings.
I would
I'm gonna say the Vikings might win the NFC. Okay.
no
Their
chance,
wide
no
receiver core is
chance.
amazing. Dalvin Cook is a top 3
Kirk
quarterback,
Cousins
running
can't
back.
win football games.
That's
He
fine.
can't.
That's fine.
He couldn't in
He just has to
college, and he
hand it
can't
off.
in the
He
NFL,
just has
dude.
to hand it off.
Doesn't matter.
That's it.
Running backs don't win in the NFL.
And then his
Titans.
wide
Look at the
receivers. He has
Titans.
2 top 15. Where you want to put Thielen, whatever, but Justin Jefferson has turned into an absolute
100%.
stud.
Jefferson's
So
a
I have
killer,
more
but you got to
confidence
be
in
able to
them.
throw the ball to him, and he can't because he's Kirk
Okay.
Cousins. He's got a spaghetti arm.
Here's my bold brick, okay? So let's just run down this, okay? I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm going to run it down quickly. 49ers, this is their schedule. 49ers, loss. So I'm only going to count their wins.
Maybe new quarterback.
Packers, loss. Ravens.
Maybe Aaron
loss.
Rodgers doesn't want to play for that team.
Ravens, loss.
Loss. Okay,
Bears.
Ravens is a loss.
I'll give them that one. I'll give them the Bears.
Yeah,
Because the
and
Bears
that's the
have
other
a new
team in the
quarterback.
that's the other team in the NFC North.
I understand. Vikings, that's a loss. Like I have no
It's just
no
not.
qualms about that. Okay. And I did Bears, and then they do. I forgot where I was. Vikings, Bears, Lion. They play the Bengals. I'll give them a dub there. So that's 2. The
You mean
Rams.
4?
The Rams. That's 2 wins. I'll give them 2
No,
wins. so far.
I'm saying that's 4
Yeah,
wins.
no,
You're
no,
just
no, no,
wrong
no.
about those.
Okay. The Rams, they're beating the Rams. Stafford is going to freaking shove it down your guys' throat so deep.
Yeah, I agree with
Rams.
that. That's a loss. So that's 2 real losses.
Eagles, I think the Eagles are going to be a surprise team this year, so I'm counting that as a loss. Steelers, loss. Browns, loss. Bears, I'll give you the Bears again. That's 3. Vikings, loss. Broncos, I didn't think about the Broncos. Okay, we'll give you 4 wins on that. Cardinals, loss. Falcons, by that time, I'm going to guess Matt Ryan is hurt. We're going to watch this and be like, oh, dang, Matt Ryan was hurt. I'm going to give you a win there. Then they're losing to the Seahawks, and they're losing to the Packers. So I'm giving you a max of 5 wins.
No chance.
Okay.
Minimum 8. Minimum 8. Reading that schedule,
giving you
minimum
5.
8.
And
I
that's
don't
my
think.
bold brick.
I think Rodgers is going to play his way out of Wisconsin. I think you're giving the Vikings way too much credit. I have no idea where your like random love for the Vikings is coming from. Like Mike
It's not
Zimmer
random.
hasn't proven that he can win. Neither is Kirk Cousins. They haven't proven that they can win. Why do you think they're going to like dominate the NFC? Like that
I think their
seems
offense
crazy to me.
is so explosive. I think it's great. I'm excited.
Doesn't Kirk
for their
Cousins
offense.
lead the league in red zone turnovers over the past like 4 or 5 years? I'm like
Listen.
90% certain that's true, and it doesn't matter how good your wide receivers are. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. Like if you're
True.
just throwing it to the other team like Kirk Cousins loves to do, like there's no way. I think you're giving the Vikings way too much credit. I think they'll be fine, but I don't think they're gonna like win the NFC.
I do. I think they will win the NFC. But this all could change.
That's
Like
crazy.
let's say the Packers are just like, hey, you know what, Aaron Rodgers, we're giving you like 20% ownership. And he's just happy. Yes. And if Aaron Rodgers is happy, throw that all out the window. Like the Packers,
Dude, he
Aaron
wants
Rodgers,
chips.
if Aaron Rodgers wants to win, like they'll be great. So like I'm throwing the Packers out, kind of. So, but that's my bold brick, is they will be in the top 3 in the draft.
I
In the
just
top 3 in
I
the
want to
draft
make
with
sure
5 losses with
I want
5
to make
wins.
sure that we come back to this at the end of the year because you're currently saying that a team that finished under 500 last year, that made like no significant changes whatsoever to their roster, is going to potentially win the NFC. Like I don't even
No,
care about the
I'm saying they
Lions
will
thing
win
anymore.
unless Aaron Rodgers stays.
I
They
don't
will
even
win
care
it.
about your other takes anymore. Like the fact that you're making this claim about the Vikings is just mind blowing to me.
What
Just
is your
because of
bold
wide
brick?
receivers
Because
who
I will not be
we've
beat
already
up on the
proved.
Vikings, who have
Oh,
been
you
playing
need to
so
be.
well. And
What are you talking
I've
about? They
only
finished under 500.
Did you watch any of their
Where
games?
are
They're
you?
getting better and better. There's no way the Lions can beat them.
You're
There's no
mind blowing,
way.
dude. You
I
haven't
can't
given me
wait.
any good reason. You just keep saying their offense is so explosive, but it's not. It's not. Thielen is a slot receiver. He's not someone who's gonna like explode. And yes, Jefferson's
Just
fine, but this is
wait.
this is the craziest take you've
Just
ever brought to
wait.
me. That the Vikings
Just
are gonna
wait.
kill it. All
Just
right.
wait. I can't wait to come back and look at this because you'll be like, man, the Vikings are pretty hot. And I'm like, I've been told you. I've been telling you. I'm gonna keep telling you.
Yeah, we'll
And you know
see.
what? Maybe that will be an elevated take coming up, so I can actually dig into the numbers. Okay. So, but what's your bold brick? I'm saying the Lions are getting a top 3 pick, which is good for the Lions, so they can rebuild. What do you got?
Fair enough. Fair enough. So my bold brick, gonna be pivoting back to basketball.
Great.
And I guess it's similar in craziness, but not even close to how crazy your subset of your
Subset.
bold brick was.
We keep on
It
getting
wasn't even your bold
sidetracked
brick.
on the
It was like
subsets. Yes.
because you keep bringing up just crazy shit in your explanations that I need to just cling on like a leech. The Milwaukee Bucks will represent the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals this year.
Cool.
And potentially win it. Dude, yes, the Miami Heat suck. Okay, I'm not doubting that, but yes, they did make it to the finals last year. They had a slightly different team, but they still are a good defensive team. And the Milwaukee Bucks are treating them like a JV squad. Like the Miami Heat are still one of the most competitive teams mentally in the entire league. And the Bucks team is just tossing them, and I attest that to I attest that to a few things. Chris Middleton, when it comes down to it, is one of the most efficient offensive players in the NBA when he wants to be, which is exactly what that team needs. Drew Holiday,
let's get to Holiday. We know you want to talk about Holiday.
We've already established my hard on for Drew Holiday, like A to Z. I love this guy. He's one of the best perimeter defenders in the entire league. When he needs to score, he needs to score. As long as he doesn't shoot 3-pointers, which he's really wants to do lately, I don't understand. As long as he doesn't shoot 3-pointers, locks up every because that's what it's going to take. Like for them to get out of the East, they're going to need an insane perimeter defender, as in like someone to lock down James Harden and Kyrie Irving when it comes to it. And they don't need like Chris Middleton. I'd put Chris Middleton on Kyrie or on put Chris Middleton on James Harden because he's long. And then you put Drew Holiday on Kyrie Irving, lock him down, don't let him get in the paint. And then, dude, Giannis can shut down Kevin Durant if he wants to. Like Giannis, I think that because Giannis's inability to be successful in the playoffs the last 2 years and his MVP year really stuck in him. And I think he's going to get better at being dynamic in the paint when he needs to be, and also increase his inside out game instead of his outside in game, which is where he was really struggling. Because he was really successful when he's going downhill to the lane. If he can master in the playoffs when there's congestion and heat around the bucket going outside in or inside out, then he's there, dude. I think they're a shoo-in. I think that Giannis is showing him, and he's been shooting better outside this year than he ever has in his career. They match up the best against the Nets, and they're showing that they're an insanely confident team going into these playoffs, and I love them. I want them to win. Let's go, Bucks.
I like this bold brick, but I will say it's not the boldest of bricks because it's the path is clear. Like it is very doable. The one thing I will say is the Nets are the obvious roadblock, okay? And what I will say about the Nets is their passing has blown me away. For a team that has so many all-stars, so many known me ball players, their There's a clip online where there wasn't a single dribble, but the ball
Yes.
touched every single player's hand, a single dribble, and they got an easy layup. And
You're
like
talking about
it just,
are you talking about the alley-oop play? The sick one? Do you know what
yes,
I'm talking about?
yeah.
That was dirty, dude.
So like you're talking about the Blake Griffin one, right?
Yeah, like 4 people touched
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ball. A guy almost threw it out of bounds. He stole it at half court.
Yep,
It was
yep.
like
That's exactly the
pass,
one I'm talking about.
alley oop to KD, finish. It was
Yep.
gorgeous.
That's
Gorgeous
the
play.
exact play I'm talking about. That is the type of play that gives me goosebumps. That is the basketball I love. It's the way the game should be played in my mind, right? My old man mentality. So the Nets are winning me over with their play. Like I didn't think I'd like this team, but I'm really starting to like this team.
Yeah.
But
I don't, but yeah.
you're right. You're right. The Bucks match up really well against them. The Bucks will give them fits. So that bold brick, I will allow it. It meets all the requirements and it's got a good probability of happening.
Yeah, bro. Let's talk in 3 weeks because I think that bold brick might have just banked right in the hoop, and that's what we do with bold bricks. We
Very
shoot
well
it and
could
hope
have.
it goes in. So I think that's a
Yeah,
podcast, bro.
just
I
like the
think that's a
Lions getting a
wrap.
top 3 draft pick. Yep.
No chance,
Yep.
dude. They're winning the NFC
It's gonna
North, and the
happen.
Vikings are going 3-13.
No chance, dude.
That's how this is gonna go. That's how this season's gonna go.
All right, well I can't wait until the NFL season starts so like we can just rip on each other on our picks because the Bills will lose one game and I will be in a tailspin. I'll be like, no, are you kidding me? But you're right. This has been a pretty good podcast. I missed it. I'm glad we're back up and running.
Back in action,
ladies and gentlemen, all the subscribers on YouTube, thank you so much. We love the support. Sorry we missed an episode. We're working on it. We're getting it back. The staying Texas
Life's
weather,
crazy,
man. It's been kicking my booty. But
sure do.
like and subscribe on YouTube. We love it. Hit the bell. We love all our followers. If you go to Twitter, check at Elevated Takes. And then go to the website, hit up the website, vote on whose take was more interesting, whatever you want to say. Read about us. There's a lot about us you guys don't know. And we'll get into that later. Like, what's this? Like about us personally. A lot of that's on our website at elevatetakes.com.
Check it out.
So check it out. Shady, what do you got?
Oh, man, you covered all the bases. Like I always say, life is finally on the upturn. Yes, the economy's still garbage, but the sun is shining. Summer's coming up for the majority of the regions here, unless apparently you're in Texas and it just rains like a hurricane all the time.
For real.
But either way, things are turning up. But if you ever need anybody to talk to, please go over to our website. Reach out to us because we love to talk to anybody about everything and anything. And like I always say, even if your take isn't elevated, it's still important. Thank everybody for listening on in. We'll talk to you later.
Deuces.